it may sound strange to say, but can you hear the silence in sound? Can you hear the silence in sound? Now, what's playing behind here is a digital tempora, which is an Indian instrument used for the drone sound that's played with a sitar or kirtan or different things like that. And I often have this playing all day in the Zendo because it brings me to silence. And perhaps you can hear this too. That it brings me into silence. The sound itself to me is silence. So it brings me into a place of silence without sound. Now, how does sound do that? How can sound bring you into silence? Well, it does. It does. And I think I can show you how that works. In this video, we'll do some experiments to hopefully you can feel what it's like when sound becomes silence. All sound comes from silence. All sound returns to silence when it's time. But all sound is silence while it's sounding. Silence remains the consistent thing that is existing all the time. Always has, always will. Sound comes and goes, but silence remains always as it is. And silence is non-duality. Silence is truth. Silence is God. Unchanging. Always remaining what it is. Eternal, limitless, and infinite. Everywhere there is silence. Everywhere silence pervades. Even while there's sound. And to realize and not be distracted by the sound and to experience the silence that you are, the silence that's within you and that you are, to experience this is a way to lead you into reality, into the non-dual reality of life. So we'll do a little experiment, a little practice, and I'm going to play the harmonium that I have here. I also have a harmonium. And I will play this and also chant the primal sound Om. O-M, Om. You've very likely heard this before. This is the primal sound that's chanted. The beginning of all mantras, almost all mantras, begin with Om. Om is the primal sound. And so you can chant with me while I'm playing the harmonium and chanting, or just listen. But what I'd like you to listen to is, if you can, to hear the silence in the sound. Or more accurately, to feel it, because it is your very being itself. So to open up and allow these sounds to bring you into the silence, to stop distracting you from silence and bring you into silence. It's important because the world is filled with sounds. It's filled with a variety of sounds, a variety of images, a variety of shapes and names and forms, myriad cornucopia of different images and duality. But to wake up, to be awake, is to experience the underlying, unchanging reality, the one singular reality that's always present in everything. And to not be distracted by the multiplicity, by the variety, by the duality, to not be distracted by that. So this is a practice right now for you to do that. And it's okay if it doesn't happen immediately. Allow it to, we'll do it for a while, and allow it to settle into you. Allow yourself, your attention to drift back into the silence that's underlying all of this sound. Now I'll keep going with this, but if you're chanting with me, I ask that you simply ask this question: where is the voice coming from? Where's the voice here coming from? Where's the voice in you coming from? It's also coming from silence, isn't it? Silence is always here. Where else could the voice come from but silence? I mean, we may think, well, it's coming from my vocal cords, it's coming from my body, it's coming from my mind, it's coming from... It's not. It's coming from silence. And so is your body, so is the vocal cord, so is the illusion of the world, is all coming from silence. So we call Om the primal sound, the original sound. But what's before Om? What's before the primal sound? Silence. Om also comes from silence. Everything comes from silence. So your voice is coming from silence. The voice here is coming from silence. And if you realize that, it can lead you back to silence, back to where the voice is coming from, back to where the sense of you is coming from, back to where the body's coming from, back where the mind is coming from, back where everything, the world is coming from. It can lead you back to the source, your true nature. So as you chant, and if you chant with me, it'll help you to feel this silence. You can listen if you don't want to chant, and it can do the same thing, but if you're chanting too, you can feel the vibration of the sound in your body, and that can sort of lead you inward, more and more inward. You're feeling the vibration, the sound lets go, and there's just this vibration happening, and then underneath the vibration is silence. No sound, no vibration, no body, no world. Before all that, the source of all that. So let's try again, and this time when you chant, the question, where is this voice coming from? Let go of the thoughts of vocal cords, body, mind, thought, person, self, and go deeper than that. Where is all that coming from? Oh. I know you don't want to hear my voice after that experience of silence. It's a distraction. The silence is the source and really everything. You don't need to hear anything about it or talk about it. It just is the primal, fundamental nature of reality. And you are this. You are this. So we'll do a little bit more and then end. If you haven't experienced this, if you haven't had the direct experience of this, the feeling of it, this realization of it, then you can play the video again as often as you want until you do, and listen for the silence. Listen for the feeling of the silence that's within all this sound. And from here, you'll be able to hear all the sounds going on in the world and hear the silence in them. Hear the fundamental reality behind everything in the dream, everything you see, everything you experience, the fundamental nature of what you are.